Alright, what's up, yins, guys? Alright, what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video. Yeah, and this is a belated video of subject matter that is kind of long past the holidays are over, but I never got around to making a video about it because I was very busy doing volunteer work for the very subject matter this video was about. I was doing volunteer work for the very organization that people raised a big stink about, that they were going woke. And even when one of my favorite unwoke black YouTubers, by the way, I subscribe intentionally and on purpose, and with intention and deliberateness, subscribe to and spread the videos of the unwoke black YouTubers that have, because I'm very big on spreading common sense, not wokeness. So when one of my favorite black YouTubers that also talks about Marvel Comics did a video on it, I did a little bit of long-winded comment. I think the holidays were still going on, and to make a long story short, I had a couple people come to me when I was volunteering, and I had to hear them out, and I'm like, okay, as soon as you're done, I tell them I'm not woke and all that, and tell them that I really don't believe anybody, because they're white or because they're any color, should apologize for something they had nothing to do with. But anyway, I knew right off the bat that whoever the hell's idea was to try to push the organization to go woke, maybe a couple people, and I knew that wasn't going to fly. And whatever anybody else says, I think that just like woke people do, get a couple of them in there, they think they're going to get, just like they get businesses to do it, they think they're going to get any organization just walk right in, and because they got a few people, and being woke, they think that the whole organization is going to shudder in fear. Oh, we better be woke too. Matter of fact, it generated the opposite, which rightly so, generating the opposite, if you follow me. For one thing, the commenters on my favorite black YouTuber there, say his name, maybe I should say his name, a lot of the commenters were saying, yeah, when they lose revenue and all that, yeah, they're part right. It ain't just that. They'd be offending other people who are standing out in the cold for, yeah, some people, namely me and other people, standing out in the cold, which a neighborhood that I lived, where I first started out, the district I lived, you're raising some of that money going to get toys and stuff for the poor, for black kids, for poor black kids. And I think there's and I also will say, well, it's on my mind too, even when this other crap went on with them cops and George Floyd and all that, no, none of my bosses that happen to be black ever, what do you call it, pressured me, nor did they suggest for me, as anybody being white, to apologize for anything. So I worked for, I worked under bosses that, you do your job right and make them proud of you and all that. And then nobody who was black that was out there had any ideas about thinking that anybody, because their color should apologize for it. Well, they even made a radio commercial. It was still going on right after the holidays. The leader of Salvation Army saying, we never intended for anybody, or suggested anybody to have to apologize for the color of their skin and all that. I think you can probably hear a audio copy of that somewhere online, I suppose. But I had a couple people, coming to me because giving me a third degree about it. Like I said, I heard and let him finish. I says, don't worry, I'm not woke. And okay, there'd be people like me who were doing it for free. So if I want to say something else real quick, talking in parentheses too, they had a lack of volunteers. A lot of people can't stand the cold as it is before all this other crap went on. You know what I mean? They were already getting shorter and shorter volunteers every year. Not a lot of people to stand the cold, and um, people make any time in their life for it. People that work steady jobs, of course. Well, where we were doing it in our district, they were getting other organizations, people from churches, people from businesses, representing businesses, coming and doing for a day. But a lot of other people, whether they're whatever they're living on, say if they're not working or whatever, plenty of time even to go out there if they can stand the cold. It'll benefit you, you know, for putting it on a resume. But I was quite surprised. Not to jump subjects, but I was quite surprised that last year, during when a lot of people, even with nicer cars, more money than I ever see, were going in them food lines and living off the extended unemployment. Not that I'm judging anybody or alienating anybody, but some of them didn't know about it, and I also have my opinions. What I'm getting at is a lack of advertising, in my opinion, that that a lot of people that had the time, especially during this, I don't want to say that P word, or that other word associated for the medical condition that was going around and wanted everybody to have shots for, because then as soon as I speak it or whatever too, YouTube will put that little box, you know, I gotta give with that. But anyway, there's people who had a lot of time on their hands, right? They're getting the food boxes. It was all over the news. And I was wondering, oh, geez, why come there ain't still volunteers? The people that maybe want to give something back for the food boxes they're getting. That's what I would do. But yeah, I started out doing it at years ago. You know, when my partner introduced me to it. She was a soldier in a uniform at one time in it. You know, because of other medical reasons, she can't be out there in the cold anymore. But when I actually needed, I got it. It's a very good thing to get good with people, managers of stores. Like I said, for a resume, public trust. Um, And another thing to say in parentheses, you go all over Google saying how much the kettlebell ringer makes. Damn, I don't want to do a 3-4 page video on that, but I don't think hardly any of them got it right. Damn. But if you got this far in this video, I would like very much to, if any of you served, what you get. I think it varies from state to state, city to city. People with different programs, I don't know. I think I heard rumors that people were getting this much wage, or like a full wage, like a job or some kind of thing, when they're homeless, to get back on their feet. I think different cities have different programs about how much the money they make. But I tell you, it was like decent. But first years that I got introduced to, when I was like down on my luck and everything else too, you know, job hunting or whatever. But I got into a line of work where, okay, the work is seasonal, right? That's another way you can vote, like I do. There's a lot of people do these like construction, different kind of jobs, like contracting jobs, where in the wintertime they collect whatever because they paid into it. If you're one of those people, like a guy, like I am, like I was, for example, you can actually volunteer the full term, and not just like if you're working full time, maybe you devote a Saturday. But like I said, there was a lot of people that had the time on their hands to extend unemployment. And I'm surprised they wouldn't want, not to judge or alienate anybody, why they wouldn't want to give back. But like I said, I went from first time I ever done it, you know, was taking that pay they gave you. Then I'm like, hell, I worked the stuff mostly seasonal, right? And then a lot of other people that made more money than I ever see that do construction contracting, they collect whatever they collect from the state, which they pay into, which means they're off for the winter. Guess what? You get the vault. That's how I was able to do it full term. Collect whatever in the winter because I paid into it. Not just sitting on my ass or anything like that, right? So since I am eating well and living good, right, I didn't need to pay. So I did start doing it. I went from okay because I was strongly believing in to a point where some people think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it's a fact. Cameras can see everything you do. People see you and they talk, and that goes down too. You want to be trusted because that could be a resume someday. No, not even you don't want the slightest rumor of stealing or nothing like that. So what I did is, I believe putting my little bit in the pot. Right, I started like right in front of store managers instead of store people. Right in front of store people when clerks started putting a little bit more in front of people so they see. You know what I mean? Because you do got shit starters out there that just don't like you. And I don't want to go on and on about any. If you see anybody black or white watching this video uh, about this, but say there's some really good prudent planning. Say if you got that ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-neighbors, ex-co-workers that hate you for whatever no apparent reason, they want to be shit starters, and you know you're standing out there. And plus, there's people with cameras. I'm not going to do a full page on that, but I'm very big on making liars out of my haters. Okay, so one of my tips, without doing a gigantic uh, long video about it, not just to benefit you about resume, okay? And yes, there are cameras looking, doing it. I actually like to stare right in front of a camera, put money in. And I realized, for my opinion, whether you're black or white watching this, if you think that uh, half of the world is out to make you into a low life or out to make you appear to be a low life, my advice to you is like, you work a seasonal job, right? You collect whatever in the winter time because you paid into it. Like your winter is the winter time is your hiatus off. Of anybody that worked any kind of construction or any kind of jobs where you can do that, you paid into it. You can, if you like what you're doing, right, go and do it full term, up from before Thanksgiving all the way up to Christmas Eve. Do it the full term. If you want to take the money, or give some of it. But I'm very big on, whether you're black or white watching, is putting money in front of people, and then I started just doing it completely for free. Because if you do something, like I said, any kind of work where you work during the spring and the summertime, right, and then wintertime, maybe you just collect whatever you collect because you paid into it. Don't work much in the winter, you can put that in. Plus, I was very big on, how the late George Carlin said, and I don't know if any other black comedians said this too, but George Carlin, black or white comedians, but the late George Carlin said, forget baseball, the national pastime is buying things. So one of the things, if you can stand the cold, you get to do is get to see what people were buying, and I was also big on, if you got this far in this video too, I don't believe in ringing that bell aggressively and relentlessly. It chases people away. I seen commenters on other YouTube videos that I watched, and I've heard about that, and you know how many thank yous that I got. Thank you for not ringing that bell. Yeah, maybe they thought the stuff that I do for my Salvation Army thing, maybe some people think it's a little corny and childish or whatever, but in their own minds, if they thought the way I do things was corny or childish with stuffed animals with little drum sets and guitars, all they cared about, all they gave a damn about is that I didn't ring the bell. Literally, that's what I was pretty much told. Thanked and congratulate for not. The bell is a tradition, and that's supposed to be a staple of a community, a tradition. And if you got this far in this video, the only real solidarity for black people and people of other races and the poor, standing out there in the cold, not that going out and marching and pretending you're protesting. There was a lot of YouTube videos, I don't want to go on and on about that the big trends that people like to act like they're protesting, take selfies with all kind of stuff in the background and everything else, act like they're protesting more than they're protesting. Like, I think that YouTuber Odin's Men, and he actually has another YouTube channel. the hell is it called? He has a second YouTube channel subscribed to. He deals with stolen military valor, but I think he did a lot of stuff about protest and then stolen protest valor too. But the only real solidarity in for anybody of another race, especially the poor, is being out there in the cold. And anybody else, in my opinion, Charles would tell anybody else they have to apologize because of the color of their skin. Just because some cops did something and everybody else white got to apologize. I'm glad that the organization backtracked on that. But yeah, if you're black or white watching this and you think for any reason that half the world's out to make you appear to be a lowlife, like I have issues with that. I actually am. I don't know how many of me are out there, but yeah, if you're able to do it, if I repeatedly said this several times. This is important. Why I repeated this several times, because it's very important on how I pull this off and how you can pull this off too, right? About serving for the whole term. You know what I mean? I think the only way to be able to do it, one, you're collecting extended unemployment because of this. I don't even want to say any words associated with the sickness and medical condition because they get that flagged on YouTube. But, or, you're on Social Security, or on SSI, or any kind of welfare, say you don't work at all, or whatever the hell. But any other reason, say you work during, like I said, summer, and then you collect anything because you paid into it. Well, any reason you got the time on your hands, and you're eating good, and you don't need the money and the pay, you might as well do extra things. And this is also very important too. Yeah, you want to make decent friends out there. Make new friends, store managers. Show people that you're not there just to make that money. And I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't regard myself as a victim out there in the cold. Nobody put a gun to my groin to make me stand out there in that cold. So I'm not going to say a 80-page thing about that either. I had a few misconceptions. People asking me about that. But I actually got asked, how long do they make you stay out there? Because some people saw me, I was out there like all day, the whole, like an 8-hour day, and other shoppers coming in because of Christmas. And the reason why I tell you is because I had people say, no, I said, nobody makes me do anything. You could go there for half a day, couple of hours, but if you have the time on your hands for a full day, do it. But yeah, you gotta kind of like what you're doing. Like I said, the late George Carlin said, buying things. Everybody's buying things. You get to see what they're buying. And then you gotta have some joy out of it too. And maybe play some music instead of, ringing the bell like a maniac and chasing people away. But, and it's supposed to be a tradition for the holidays too, or whatever too. But the best thing you can do, what you really should do is, very good opportunity to look right into the surveillance cameras without fear, and if you think the cameras are all out to make you into low life or a criminal, do the opposite and just put that money in right there and stare right in the camera. And I actually urge anybody watching this, whether they're black or white, doing this, that way I explained to you repeatedly how you're able to find the time. I repeated things several times in this video because I wanted you to know that how it is possible that you can actually go out there and do it completely for free. You know what I mean? And plus even put some of your own money in. And by the way, I actually this year too, not to brag about myself, I spent a pretty good bit of money, like on sale, like $150 for like a wagon that I wanted to make look like a toy wagon for a stage for my my little stuffed animal band there, and about $150 or so on sale, I think, on Amazon for Bluetooth speakers that I wanted something to look like guitar amplifiers. So yes, I put my own. No, I'm not here to brag, but I wanted to, not saying this to brag, but I want to say that it's possible to do it for free and put some of your own money into it, and how you achieve that, right? You can make liars out of your haters. Nobody can say you're a crackhead because they're jealous of you or whatever. Uh, whether it's because of your hair or because of your color. Maybe you might be black, dreads. You might be white, have dreads. This is your chance to make liars out of your haters, gain public trust. And I have a lot of beliefs that I don't want to do 80-page uh, about that. How this is actually disposable income and how good things will come to you, but there is a lot of what do you call it, paranormal reasons, and a lot of um, there is a lot of things I don't want to get into that do influence things that you can't see around here too. That'll either bring you good or bad luck, and things that are controlling this world. Put it that way. I was very big on that John Carpenter's They Live, that movie with the late Roddy Piper with John Carpenter's They Live. Uh, there's a lot of visible and invisible things influencing human behavior. Human behavior in crowds, pack mentality, anyway. But yeah, there's sometimes people say it's unbiblical to actually openly and show off and give things. But sometimes I think if you're black or white watching this, if you got this far, sometimes you've got to somebody's trying to. You think people are out to try to make a low life out of you, can make new friends to to get them to trust you and laugh in your face in the of your enemies at the same time. So the cordial, polite smile out there can be both things right off the bat. You're smiling at your new friends and laughing in the face of your two-faced haters at the same time. So then you gotta. And I say this because it's wise to protect yourself from even any appearance of stealing or whatever. Like, hey, you might be black or white watching. You might have that ex-wife out there that's out to get you or whatever the hell, or ex-friends, ex-co-workers, or family members that hate you for whatever reason and jealous. I mean, I regard it as a kind of retroactive of prudent slander insurance and all that stuff. I mean, and it works. I mean, you can't just go in doing it just for yourself. But I don't want to alienate anybody that was down on their luck and do that for the money either. Absolutely not. But then when you get more able and uh, start out small, and you're basically back on your feet. Yeah, that's basically, I'm telling you, it's disposable income, especially if you've worked in places where you can, like I said, collect whatever in the winter because you paid into it or whatever you got the time on your hands. In my book, whatever circumstance, because I repeated that so many times, telling you the circumstances, how that can be just disposable income. You don't need that money. You should be putting the time and the money in it. Live your life so you can't be accused, and try to enjoy yourself doing it. And that's that.